Hey there, WUBALL fans. It's time to order this season's official Waldorf Gridiron Club swag. We've got hoodies, crew neck sweatshirts, in case you want to avoid having a head handle to pull you down in those bar fights, long sleeve tees to cover your WUBALL inked sleeves, and short sleeve tees for when the weather is warm, or whenever, if you're hot-blooded. As usual, funds raised from these reasonably priced, colorful apparel go to the Waldorf football program. So, order now. You can pick up at the Thread store in Algona or have it sent right to your home. And have it before the season begins. Just go to the store link in the show notes and place your order today. Don't delay. We'll see you and your sweet WUBALL Gridiron gear at the game. Go Warriors! Welcome to the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret bunker beneath Bolstorff Field.
Welcome to this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast, folks. We are 1 week away from game day. We're getting close to sending our Warriors down to
Seward,
Nebraska, the home of the world's largest.
It's a great big pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And
Jenna, do you know what we're talking about?
No idea.
They have the world's largest time capsule in Seward, Nebraska.
Yeah, it's so big. Well, we almost
It's
did
so big. We almost ordered a Coke involved with that.
Jinx.
There you go. Thanks. Yeah. They got a couple cars in there. They got leisure suits. They've got all kinds of interesting things.
They've got a 75 Vega.
Yeah.
What is the point of having all that stuff in there?
Why wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you want to see what life was like 50 years ago? Next year, they're going to open it up.
Oh, really? Next year?
We're going to steal that Vega and bring it here, paint it purple.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the story. So the voice you're hearing, folks, you're probably going, Who
are we talking to today?
This is
the new defensive tackle.
Yes, I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. She came in late on waivers. We signed her for $3.4 million.
Still got a COVID year of eligibility.
That's right. No, the voice you're hearing, folks, is Jenna Quina. Jenna is the life and breath of the athletic department here at Waldorf University. If I try to tell everybody what your titles are, I would massacre that. So would you do that for me,
Yes,
Jenna?
I can. So my official title is the Athletic Department Operations Coordinator.
Oh.
And then I also do game promotions and serve as the Senior Woman Leader.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's go through those. You're the operations manager.
Coordinator.
Ooh, that's even better.
Yes, technically coordinator.
Okay.
It's all the same.
So what is operations coordinator like? Do you basically make sure Chad knows what he's supposed to do?
Well, I try to make sure everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do a little bit for every team. I like to say that I try to do as much as I can so the coaches can focus on coaching, recruiting, and fundraising.
That's great.
That is awesome. And then I'm very interested in the senior women's leader. Mm-hmm. Is that an NAI thing? Is that right?
It is. So the NCAA has had a senior woman administrator for many years, and the NAI thought that was something they needed to implement at the, highest level.
Yeah.
What are the qualifications for that job?
It's basically the senior most woman in the department,
Okay.
unless it's the athletic director. Doesn't mean the AD couldn't be the SWL, but
in this case,
yes. So
he could not.
No, he could not be.
Okay.
So meetings in Kansas City and stuff like that to kind of talk about, how to continue to promote, women in athletics and women's programs. Waldorf were we not the first school in Iowa to offer a women's wrestling program?
For second or third, in that top three
close.
for sure.
Okay, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's brought a lot of kids to Forest City and to Waldorf.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff all the way around. I've read a little bit about it. I think, didn't Bree Evenho, our head volleyball coach, do some stuff with the NAIA? I don't think she wasn't senior women's leader, but
She, at the North Star level, was our student council of student athletes
that's
kind of
right.
liaison at the conference level. So she worked with students from every North Star school related to that.
Yeah, very good. So now you're also
Game day operations.
Game day operations.
Yes.
That's got to be a mess.
Well, so a lot of us are involved in game day operations because
I've seen it.
yeah, you need more than one person. I don't do so much of like the hands-on stuff. I handle concessions, like game day promotions.
But when you say handle concessions, you're not in the concessions.
I'm not in the concessions.
You're making sure that it's staffed usually by another team.
Yep.
That they've got do you or does Brian, who makes sure that there's food in there for them to serve?
It would be me.
Okay.
Yep. So we order all the food through Brian.
Yeah.
And then drinks too. And then we load it in our cars. We being me and Callie Schmidt.
I was going to say the group.
My crew.
And then we, the football concession stand is the, as you can imagine, the biggest to deal with. The inside one is volleyball and basketball, and that's a little simpler. But we load everything into the coolers, get everything set up. On game day, I have teams show up about an hour and a half before start time and walk them through everything, show them what to do, tell them what to do if they have questions. I'm always around if they need help. And then basically I'm just kind of a roamer. I help out where needed. If we need our concession stuff from inside or something from the office, I'll run over and get that and bring it over. So,
do you have a walkie-talkie?
I do not have a walkie-talkie.
Okay.
But we do have walkie-talkies for the big people that talk to each other into the game.
Yeah.
In my equipment room, I do have. We had some old telex equipment. If you're familiar with what telex was, that was the gold standard about 15 years ago in sideline communication. You put this huge box on your hip, and when you wanted to talk, you had to push a button. I found it tucked way back into a corner, and to say it was rotten is kind of an understatement, because like anything that was plastic was sticky, and all the black stuff would come off on your hands. And so I asked Coach Chop, I said, what would you like to do with this? And he's like, what is it? I'm like, if we don't know what it is, I think it's destined for the landfill. But the boxes were great. We kept those. But yeah, I'll tell you what, I did find 2 little battery powered walkie-talkies. If you and Callie want to talk during the game, because
there's like you're right beside each other. Use your walkie-talkie.
Like cans on a string.
We have them.
I can get you those. I have no use for them.
All right.
We could talk to each other from our office. Mine with the window and her at the desk. And
You have a window?
well,
She
I have a
does.
window
Kind of a window
into
wall.
the
Into the
office.
lobby area.
Yeah.
That's a nice setup, folks. If you haven't ever made it into Waldorf's athletic facilities, obviously we focus on football, and that's, they got the team room up there and some meeting rooms in the coaches' offices, and obviously the locker room. That's great. But when you walk into our athletic department, you're walking into something. Callie's usually
Talking about the field house, the Hansel Field House for
second
sure.
level right there, first floor as you walk in. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, in the past year, we've really worked hard on branding that area. And again, when I say we, I mean Callie. She found this really cool clock with our Waldorf Warrior helmet W, and it's like a neon ring around it. So you can turn it on, and it's purple neon. It's super cool.
That is way
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get one of those
Well,
for the bunker. Yeah. So
I've got one for the high school. Weirdly enough, I do have
you only have one kid in
I
high
have
school.
a high school
You got a kid at
neon
Waldorf
football
now.
helmet. Actually, yeah,
You got a kid at Waldorf now.
that's right. All right.
We're gonna have to ask Callie where she got that. Yeah. So let's back up a little bit. Where do you hail from? Where did you call home originally?
I am from Simi Valley, California.
What? How did you get here?
So, I guess long story short, I have 2 aunts that live in the area.
Okay.
One aunt went to Waldorf College when it was a 2-year.
Nice.
Her husband stayed. Second aunt came out to visit the first aunt, met her husband and stayed. And when I was looking into colleges, I wanted to play basketball. And I looked into this area because I thought, it'd be nice to be around families, kind of a home away from home.
Oh.
Found Waldorf, and Denny Jerome recruited me, and rest is history.
Nice.
You've been here ever since you were a student athlete at Waldorf.
Yes.
That is such a great story. I didn't know that. I know I've known you and known your name for many, many years. And it's like, so Simi Valley, that's where Coach Donadio is from too.
Yeah.
So you
Small
guys,
world.
you guys talk about that, or did you kind of go out and say, hey, there's this coach out there, Chops?
No, I had not heard of him, but
okay.
I think it was when we did the release on new coaches, and I saw that he had coached at Simi Valley High. I'm like, you're kidding. That's where I went to high school.
Yeah. Wow. Close connection then. Yeah, that's
And he's quite a bit older than you, though. He's like mid-30s.
yeah.
Something like that.
So there's a lot. So there's a lot of folks. You'd say that it takes a team to make things work. I happened to got a chance to sit in on one of your game day operations meetings a couple weeks ago or whatever it's been now, and I thought that was great experience to see how they've all got a role and everybody's just busy as all get out. So I roll in there with new ideas, and I'm looking at their faces going, but they don't want more to do. So the answer has to be, and how do we do it? So and very accommodating. And yeah, you're in there. Obviously, Chad Gassman was there. He invited me to the meeting. I thought that was very nice of him. And then, but you've got Joe Tischler. He's the new sports information director.
Yep.
And he's been pretty busy because we were just talking about. He must have gotten he had the rosters loaded for other teams that didn't have 23 players.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brought
in 2 more.
But I'd be checking every day to see if the football one was up, and it just must have come out yesterday or last night or something like that. So it's up, yeah, and that's always exciting to see. So parents can go and check that out and all of that. So Joe is busy. Actually, we asked Joe to be here for this podcast.
He's busy.
He's like he's drinking from the fire hose right now. He's like, I got time for that, And then Garrett was there too, and I don't know how to say his Shabilski. Shabilski, yeah, sure. And what does Garrett do?
So he is our, I think, officially associate athletic director for. I'm not going to remember the full title now. Basically, facilities and game management.
Yeah.
So he's, so last year we had Kyle Swiderski. And he still is also the head bowling coach.
Yep.
And it got to the point with all of our teams that it was just too much for someone to manage as a part-time job.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
So Kyle transitioned out to stick with bowling. And then we hired Garrett.
Is it a requirement in that position for your name to end in ski?
It must be.
Yeah. What's going on there?
You'd have to look at the bylaws.
That's right. The bylaws. Well, it looks like we need a Polish person in here. So, yeah. Well, that's great. And they all did it. Look, Andy, I know you're busy on the game day with all the stuff that you've got going with equipment.
If I got something going, I just look for Jenna Quina. Like, hey, can you? And done.
And I know that in the press box, it is. I'm not that busy. Like, I have a script, and I can go with the flow, and I just watch the game and announce it. So it's pretty. For the most part, it's easy. The only time that I would get a little concerned would be when
4-hour rain delay.
Don't worry about that. But it would be more like last year John Cabral was the SID, and he would come in, and that's when I really started paying attention to like how much you guys are doing. And it's a lot. And he would be like coming from a volleyball game where he's probably keeping stats as well, and then there's a script involved, and I'm getting changes to the script by email, and it's kickoff in like 22 minutes or whatever it happens to be. And so that's just, and it's because there's so much going on. I think we've got some more of that stuff. Now, John's moved on, but with Joe, we're
already
talking about scripts and things like that. This year, the hecticness, the chaos, let's just call it chaos, has not
a lot better word
gotten any better, because this year, on top of volleyball occasionally at the same time, particularly at the incredibly inconvenient time on homecoming, which is like the exact same time.
Usually hockey.
Homecoming, I think and maybe at Community Day too. I think Community Day is, they might have like a 12:50 tip-off or something in volleyball, and then I don't know that for a fact, but also soccer, and of course we share the field with our soccer teams, obviously, and at Bolstorff Field. And this year there are two games for sure. Homecoming with Midland, but I think there's another game. There might be three, but two for sure, where we have football game followed by soccer. And one of those, I think we have football game followed by soccer. Does that sound right?
Yeah, so homecoming, and then October 19th.
That's what it is,
we have JV volleyball, varsity volleyball, football, men's and women's soccer, all in one day.
Yeah.
And then then the 19th, I think we also have home D2 hockey. So those are overload days for sure.
That's going to keep you.
So you guys are you're keeping the stats. You're trying to, and that's not just, that's not just for fun. That's kind of a requirement.
Yeah.
They have to have that at halftime. Those stats are.
Our SID does that.
Somebody does.
Yeah,
I mean, John was doing it last time. I don't know if Joe's doing it this time. They're going to be doing it at a variety of places, sometimes at the same exact time. So we probably have got that.
I don't know how you do that.
Doled out a little bit. That's on a computer. I know they're already doing that, and I know that, and they print it off between in breaks. So they'll, like halftime in football, they'll print off all the stats, and the coaches will come down and they'll walk by and they'll hand them the stats from the first half. Which is So there's a lot going on, and then in the press box also there's that is happening. There's obviously the game clock. There's the scoreboard. There's the So there's the clock, the scoreboard, and then there's the actual play clock. Those are three different things. Yeah. And then you have Warrior Sports Network. They're down in the end. I'm somewhere in the middle. And then there's usually somebody else helping spot for the two people that are dealing with the stats. Okay. So it's pretty packed up there. And then, of course, the coaches are upstairs above us, and you can hear them too, depending on what's going on either side.
Yeah.
So, I understand.
Yeah.
I've been around.
And you know how busy it is. So let's kind of walk through a game day, a typical game day for Waldorf, at Bolstorff Field, which is our fans. They love tailgating. They love that experience. And we've, as Gridiron Club, have really tried to make that day every game, home game experience really special. The kids like it. The fans like it. And I think we're seeing a return on that investment where, people can count on a great Saturday afternoon. But for you guys, when does that start? Is it early Saturday morning? Is it Friday night? What's going on?
So probably it's starting Monday morning of a home game. We have our admin meeting Monday mornings, and we go through the week and we talk about what's home, what was home the past weekend, see if there's anything we can change, do better. And we're just looking ahead towards Saturday. So I think our game managers get there about, for a 1:00 game, probably 8 in the morning, just to check everything, make sure everything's working. I get there about 2.5 hours before start time, make sure concessions is ready to go, anything else that the coaches need, make sure gate boxes are ready to go. And then it's just kind of running around, helping other people get stuff ready too. And hopefully by the time the game starts, it looks like all we did was just roll the ball out and play.
Yeah. That nobody even thinks twice about it.
It seems like that. It really does. And somebody
I'm glad to hear that.
I usually get there 6-ish because I like before, well, it used to be Kyle would put out the pylons and the down or the yard line markers and stuff. I like to always sweep the field to get the debris off and make it look a little bit better. But I have to get there early because
he's there early.
Yeah, he was there early and he'd get that done. And
yeah. This year you've got there's some additional things that they have to set up too, and that with the GPAC, it's new for them as well. So every football game you'll have the ability to do kind of like a replay.
Video
replay.
Yeah,
and so that requires cameras set up in the end zones on the corners. Is that right? Or how does that work?
That sounds right. Garrett's handling all that.
Okay.
And thank goodness for him, because technology just goes over my head. I don't understand anything. If I can hook up my phone to Wi-Fi and plug something in, and that's about as far as I go with technology.
And they can be set up any time that day, that morning, and in advance. And it sounds like they're going to set them up earlier. I know that Coach Chapa was in that meeting that I was in on as well, and he's like, they have to be on at 20 minutes before game time, or like no later than that. And it sounds like they're going to be on well before that, so that's always a good thing. I watched a episode documentary on game day operations in the NFL, and just particularly the Green Bay Packers and the stuff that they go through, and the phones that they test, and the instant replay, and the to the commissioner, like all of that stuff that's clearly at a different level than what we're talking about. But apparently we're slowly approaching those levels. Interesting.
It's going to be great. The coaches went out and tried to hook up because there's antennas and stuff like that, and they have to have 3 of them. One on the visitor sideline, and they're having problems finding power. They found one. I was not involved in that. I just went out, and they'd make good government employees because there was 6 or 7 of them standing around. One guy working, which was the GA.
Oh, GA.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
No.
Offensive coordinator do the work.
Yeah, but he's kind of the tech guy. He is pretty techy.
Yeah, but then you got GAs to do the grunt work.
That's true.
Unscrew that.
Well, Caden. No, he's full coach, isn't he? Is he GA?
We call him Cade.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a GA. Yeah.
It's Cade? It's not Caden.
Cade.
Just Cade.
Cade Kloster-Hodak.
Yeah.
There's a
nephew named Caden. I'm an idiot.
There's a Caden Peterson. There's a Caden Obley. They're players.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so that's how that happened. Got a couple other things. I know Coach wanted to put some low-rise stands in the end zone, in the north end zone there, and I think that was approved, but it depends on how soccer felt. Any updates on that?
I haven't heard anything about that. Hopefully we can do that, because that's a good spot for the recruits and their families to sit, and gives them a place to not be on their feet anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
Close to the action.
But getting people into that spot, it is for the recruits and their families, for sure. And it's and then getting people to the other side too. I know that was part of the discussion. Is that I think someday we're looking to get a nice sidewalk that continues around the outside. Just got the track resurfaced and painted. Painted this week, in fact.
Yes.
And so that's done, and now trying to keep people from just using the track as the access point to the visitor stands. It sounds like we've got a plan for that.
Yeah.
Except for the handicap folks. Like if they want to roll across, they're certainly more than welcome to do that.
Yes. Or
although I don't know how they get through that gate on the other side and then climb the stands. But
I don't know either. And we're happy to offer rides in our golf carts if we're available. Sometimes we're running around and we can't do it right that second. Yeah. But we're happy to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I love about Waldorf is, and I've traveled a little bit with the team, and I think that you and your staff are very accommodating to our guests when they're here. I try to be as much as I can, especially when it comes to equipment, because I know how much of a pain that is. But yeah, that's one of the things that I think talks about the program, talks about us as an institution, that just to make sure that just because you drove up here, we're not going to try to make your life hard.
Nope.
Yeah. So, props to you.
We still want to beat you, but we're going to treat you with respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something that Chad was very clear about in that meeting, and that's something I appreciate. I think it speaks highly of the school, the university itself. I think it'd be nice if we got to a point where we had everybody in like you had like a purple, a gold, like different colored jackets, and it's like this person is the escort to the opposing team or the officials. This person is courtesy or whatever, whatever,
like earpieces,
little stuff.
Ooh,
and
see,
you'd get some volunteers just to put you just have like a clothing rack of different size suit jackets, and it's like, all right, what kids are volunteering this week? Yeah, you can wear the earpiece in this job. That'd be kind of fun.
It would be cool. You look like the Secret Service.
Yeah, people like it. And well, maybe we'll get there. We'll get to that point. I think that'd be exciting. Hey there, WUBALL fans. Join us live for the Waldorf University Football Coaches Show each Wednesday throughout the season, starting this Wednesday, as we broadcast live from our new location, Shooters Bar and Grill on Highway 69 North in Forest City. Join us in person for food, drinks, and all the details on the coming game. Meet a couple Warriors from the offense and defense. Hear Coach Chappa's take on game prep and a review of the last week, and lots more. If you can't join us in person, tune in to KIOW Mix 107.3 from 7 to 8 p.m. or listen in wherever you are on KIOW's Listen Live feature on their website at KIOW.com. Or you can see us in action via the Waldorf University Football Facebook page on Facebook Live. Don't miss it out, a note on the game, or a chance to get to know our Warriors. I'll see you each Wednesday from Shooter's Bar and Grill for the Waldorf Football Coaches Show. Go Warriors! You have some game day themes planned for this season. We have 6 home games at Bolstorff Field. And are these locked in pretty much now so that we can announce them in this podcast? Okay, so clearly we know that the first game in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow, is going to be Community Day, and that's the 7th of September, and that's going to be versus St. Francis University. Not a conference game, and they're a tough team, so it's going to be an interesting day. And of course, it's usually been community night. We've always enjoyed that under the lights. There's usually fireworks. If it's Peterson that usually comes in and kind of helps out with that, which is we can't do fireworks when the game's over at 5 this time of year.
Still be bright out.
Yeah. So tell us about what you got planned for Community Day.
So we're going to start off. We sort of worked with the YMCA. The YMCA did all the work with this, but they have the first inaugural Christy Havinga Memorial Run in the morning.
Oh, nice.
So we're just kind of adding that together. It's Community Day. Let's promote that for the community.
Yeah.
And they have a little fun run for the kids on our track as well. And then after...
And both of Christy's daughters played volleyball, or one is playing as a freshman this year, and Emma just graduated, both playing volleyball at Waldorf as Warriors. So,
and she's back helping the team.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Great.
So after that, we will have bouncy houses starting at 10 a.m. and the cheerleaders will help with some like W tattoos, and we'll have work out there for some photo ops. And once the game starts at 1, at halftime, we'll have the YMCA Football League. They're going to come out and scrimmage each other at halftime.
Great.
Yeah, we love it when they come out. They're a lot of fun.
That is great.
That's so great.
So that is going to be fun. That's good to see.
So you said Warwick is going to be there. I mean, my glory days were the advent of Wally.
Yes.
Whatever happened to Wally? Is he?
Yeah.
Is he
Warwick.
So I was around when Wally was, yeah. So
you were here for Wally?
Yep.
And then
a couple years maybe?
Yeah.
Warwick
is a lot more fit.
Resting somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, you find him, I want to buy him.
He was getting in rough shape, but he's sleeping somewhere.
Right.
Nice.
I have no idea where it is though.
Find him and talk to Chad about a price, because I'd love to have Wally.
Okay.
Warwick is he is very fit. He's a much more fit.
Wally was round.
Wally was
round.
He was fun. He's a fun little guy.
Well, yeah, he had droopy horns, but
yeah.
It's all done. Yeah, that happens to everybody after a few years.
That's right. My goodness. So a great day, and of course we love it when the community comes out and really jam-packs it. Hopefully the weather's really good. It's there that first weekend, just after Labor Day weekend, and it's going to be a great time. And then you come into, we're gone actually quite a bit for the rest of the month of September until we get to the very end, and then we bring Hastings here. Hastings is, by the way, the home of Kool-Aid. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I learn all kinds of stuff on this podcast.
Well, that's what we do here.
That's right.
We educate.
Basically, we're an educational podcast. A lot of people don't realize that. That's how we're listed. No.
Yeah, it was that's the home of the invention of Kool-Aid, and it was originally called, Troy?
Fruit Smack.
Fruit Smack.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was a great
name, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the liquid version, and then just to save shipping costs, he dehydrated it down to just the powder, and then that's what got us Kool-Aid.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, home of Kool-Aid.
Our fans know all about it. We spent quite a bit of time talking about Hastings. Had their whole episode back in the summer, but that's going to be I'm glad that Hastings is coming here. That saves us. That's actually the longest road trip for any of our teams to get to Hastings. So for us on the football side, that's pretty good. We're going to have to go there next year, but yeah, regardless,
half the time from our
but
last
yeah,
conference.
yeah,
Oh,
6
gosh,
hours, 6 hours,
nothing.
6 maybe 7. I mean, depending on what's happening.
Still.
Compared to 10 or 12 or 13.
It's not Eastern Montana.
That's right. And that is going to be the 28th of September. That is our Team of Honor Day.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's right. Our baseball.
Yes, the 81 baseball team. This is our first year for this as well. So we have homecoming weekend. We do Hall of Fame and induct individuals into Hall of Fame. And we have so many teams that are worthy of that as well. So we wanted to dedicate a special day for them. So the 81 baseball team will be here in the morning we'll do their little ceremony, and then we will announce them at halftime of the game.
That's going to be wonderful.
And when she says we,
Well, yes.
she means me.
Oh, I know.
I'm excited for that. And I think that the team, according to Chad, sounds like the team's pretty fired up about it.
Yes. I've been in contact with almost all of them, I think.
Yeah.
And both coaches and many of the athletes, and they're pumped to come back.
Who was the coach in 81?
Coach Jim Hayden and Coach Brian Grunsky.
I knew Grunsky was around.
And they were conference champions for several years in a row in that period. They continued to do very well into the mid 80s, which was great. So that's going to be the 28th. And then we come back the following week, and then we do have homecoming on the 5th of October, which is, by the way, the 28th for us, for the Gridiron, the tailgating and game day group out over there in the tailgating section. They've decided to call that Gridtoberfest.
Gridtoberfest.
So they're going to do a
lot of
German
polka
theme and
a lot of polka.
So like Oktoberfest over there. And then so homecoming, that's a big plans for homecoming always. And homecoming really at Waldorf starts on Thursday.
Yes, it does.
For the community and earlier for the students.
Yes, I think Monday officially is like official activities starting, where they do, I'm not going to remember the activity name, Warrior Week or like Homecoming Fest or something like that. So there's activities to do for teams and clubs to earn points throughout the week. And then depending on how the schedule works for the court, that could be any of the nights that week as well.
So any year ending, graduating year ending in 4 or 9 is going to be represented at the, right?
I've got friends that graduated in 89. Hopefully they all come back. So I'm sure they listen to this podcast.
Well, they probably do. I mean, we've got people from all over. We'll have to get back to doing shout outs when I do. I'll be more prepared next time, or the time after that probably. But so that's gonna be a big day and lots of things happening with just all of the announcements. Then we're pretty busy. Are you having the kids back to any of the football teams back for anything like that besides the community day, or was that the only day?
Like the previous football teams, or
no? I mean like the little kids at the half.
Oh, just for community day.
Okay, community day. Okay, very good. And then what are the big plans for homecoming?
Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything yet, but
well, we don't have that big of a listener.
there's a special something going on at 9:30 a.m. on the field. So if you are interested, I'm not trying to make this like secretive. I just don't know if I can say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, good call. Yep.
That's a great way to promote it.
Yeah, that I meant to do that.
Something is happening at 9:30 at Bolstorff Field on Saturday of homecoming. We can't tell you what it is. You just have to see for yourself.
Just be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's exciting. And
changing
my calendar right now.
You may not be able to talk about it yet, but when we talked about the Team of Honor, and that's also the Hall of Fame induction, do you have the inductees yet? And is that public or is it not?
Yes. So we actually, I think it was today, we released a press release for the Hall of Fame inductees. So let me pull it up before I I'm working on it. You'd think I'd know it off the top of my head, but
No, it's
just
probably
fine.
people you've never heard of before. Maybe a teammate or something like that.
Well, you were a big guy on the alumni board and everything for Waldorf.
Yo,
part of
president,
it.
7 years.
I mean, so the homecoming is a great opportunity to bring people back.
I always get to see friends of mine. You know, right now the president of the Alumni Association is Doc Wicks, and a good friend. He's
Podiatrist.
He's a podiatrist. He's originally from Kanawha, Iowa.
Yeah, what's his first name?
Thomas.
Yeah, I think I met him. I did. Met him at the golf tournament.
Yeah, he's good people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a nice
good,
guy there.
Doc's good dude.
Yeah. Got it all figured out now?
yes. So October 4th, the day before our homecoming game, is our Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So we have Bill Helgestead, 95. He was a soccer player. Robert Lee Dowell Jr., 97, basketball player. And Matt Klaus, 11. He was a baseball player.
All right.
Nice. Very good. Congratulations, guys. I
love it.
Yeah, that is awesome.
If you ever are in the, and if you have, look, folks, if you're listening to this and your kid plays football and you haven't for some reason been, I find this hard to believe because I can't believe that you haven't been, that you hadn't have been in the Hanson Field House. But if you haven't taken the time to just walk down the hallway, you can see our beautiful weight room facility, and you can see all of our, I think their Hall of Famers are there, but we also have our All-Americans listed there. Academic All-Americans are in there, and somewhere in there, in that trophy case, right there at the front, just before you enter the gym, there is a little football championship that's named after what our Warriors were initially called in 1929, which was the Coyotes.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Did you know that?
I did not.
We were not always the Warriors.
Boom.
We were the Coyotes.
Can we change the name? Jenna, can we change the name?
We've got so
Back
much.
to the Coyotes.
Yeah.
So much branding invested in this.
I know.
Right now.
I might have to talk to marketing about that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that might be tough.
That'd be
by.
Coyotes would be a good intramural team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Throwback name, too.
yeah, a little throwback.
I did not know that, and I would love to.
It's in there. Yeah.
We need to make some jerseys.
So is the RC Cola Bowl championship, first one, 1993.
93 is when we won that
First time. It appeared 4 times in the Cola Bowl and won 3 out of 4.
Yeah, I know that some guys I went to school with, they went.
89, they went and they lost to DuPage, but then after that, 93, 94, and 95, they won every year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in football. But that is that's how you talk about those great players in all sports, and you recognize them, and we do that at homecoming, and that this year is against Midland, and Midland is we're also, like I said, we're going to be playing Midland in soccer, and I think volleyball.
Yep.
So
All day
like
we play
they're
Midland.
bringing their whole school to our school, and everybody's going to win.
Yeah, Midland's not that far a drive, so hopefully they get a bunch of fans here because
That'd be
that's
fun.
what's really going to be great about the GPAC is obviously being able to travel and not, have to, book flights, but having those fans come up and see what we do here at Waldorf. Because not going to a lot of other places, but I think what we do here for the size of the community and the size of our university is pretty special.
Yeah.
And I think, I know the guys appreciate it. And, I think the community has a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%. You're also doing, and on the 19th of October, that's when we play Northwestern.
Yes, the Red Raiders.
And that's breast cancer awareness game.
It is.
Yeah.
So everyone knows, or if it's not themselves, they know someone who's been affected by breast cancer.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And we try to do something in the fall and something in the winter to spread awareness, raise some money. And I think everyone can just relate to that awareness day.
For sure. And again, cancer in and of itself is, it touches everybody's life, but breast cancer in particular, I don't know if you could talk to anybody that's over the age of 18 years old that doesn't have somebody in their life that's been affected by that horrible, horrible disease.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, and Susan G. Komen Foundation, obviously, I think they've maybe have copyrighted the color pink, to be honest with you. I'm not sure, but
They may
obviously done a great job with the branding, the marketing, the awareness. That's been for many decades now, I think, so that's obviously going to be a big part of that. And that is against Northwestern on the 19th. And then then we don't come back home for a while. We hit the road. There's also a bye week in there, and then we come back in the very beginning of November for the last couple of games, and at home, and then it's back to back. So it's back to back home games, and then we're on the road for our last game. But the 2nd of November, that's going to be a new thing that you guys have been talking about, and it's faith and family.
Yes. So we don't have all the details squared away on that yet, since we haven't done it before. But Coach Gassman thinks it would be a great thing to offer the community now that we've gone back to our Lutheran roots, and something along the lines of bring your church program in and free admission, or bring your church program in and we'll try to have some bouncy houses, and that's free for anyone.
Signed by the pastor.
Yeah.
We don't want you just to show up afterwards like, hey, are you going to church on Sunday?
I'm gonna need
Could you grab me? I'd like to get in free because I can't afford the, what is it, $8 or something like that to get in.
I'm gonna need a bulletin. Pick up a bunch of bulletins for my friends. Yeah, signed by the pastor. That's not a bad idea.
Take it easy on Friday. Take it easy on the Saturday before, and grab yourself a program when you program. They don't call them programs. Well,
bulletins.
Bulletin,
my church sells them, so yeah, they are programs.
They sell the program
$3. Yeah, it's crazy
for a bulletin.
Yes, your church doesn't do that. Really? I might have to go to the Methodist church. $3.
I'm not paid for
you gotta pay either. You gotta pay to know what's going on in the program.
Well, you want to follow along, you pay for it.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
Well, I kind of made it up.
Then?
You made it up.
God, you easy.
I mean, you got
I believed
me.
you.
Oh, he does this all the time.
I was like, I mean,
my dad.
whatever you got to do to make money, I get it.
Yeah, that would be a little like.
I was like,
yeah.
well,
would you like a bulletin? Sure.
Look,
that's $3.
I know they sell tickets at certain synagogues for like high holy day events and stuff like that. And I'm like, has Emmanuel gone to the model of like the Jewish synagogues in the cities?
Actually, when the Roman Catholic Church was selling indulgences and Luther got sick of it, well, he's been dead for 500 years. It's time. Let's get back to making some cash.
A bulletin is not an indulgence. Okay,
exactly.
It's a necessity. Selling necessities here. Interesting. Wow, you tricked me. Pretty good. Faith and family. When I was in Sunday school as a kid, you had to, if you left and you weren't there, you had to bring back a bulletin
from another church,
from where you went to church that Sunday because your family was gone,
or you got excommunicated.
Well, I mean, we were the church pilgrims, so it was pretty harsh.
I understand.
Anyway, so that's great. So whether it's a bulletin, it's just a great opportunity to have celebrate our faith and friends and family. And I'll tell you, the Warriors, whether it's our football team, they say it all the time. The coaches reflect that, but I know it's across the board in all of the programs that we have in our athletics. And I also know that it's a big part of the recruiting surveys that you guys do every so often, just across the athletics department. And that the number one thing that people feel, the number one term that people use to describe Waldorf, particularly our athletes, is family.
Yes.
So that's awesome. And that's what we want. And then on the 9th of November is, I guess that's Military Appreciation Day. Is that what we're going to do? Yep. And it's also Senior Day. So that's the last game, home game. Then, of course, the 11th of November is Veterans Day, and just before that, so that'll be pretty cool. And Jen, I'll tell you what, we'll get you a color guard and some stuff like that. That's plenty of time to organize. We'll make sure that I can make that happen for you. And Senior Day, when we recognize our senior players, obviously, and their contributions to the team. So, and how does when you look at them? So football brings in, I'd say, a pretty large crowd on a Saturday. Not sure if there's a bigger. Well, there isn't. There's not a bigger crowd yet.
Yes.
Yet. And so that is that. I was impressed with. So Chad Gassman at this meeting said, "Oh, Listen, if we make a mistake over here on a Tuesday night, not very many people notice it. But if we make a mistake or there's a game clock issue or we screw up with getting an official to the right place at the right time, whatever it happens to be, or these cameras aren't ready, 2,500 people are going to find that out, and it's going to be a big problem, whatever.
Yeah.
So you guys really have your, it's game day for you guys as well.
Yeah, it is. And we want to ourselves be as successful as we can so that everyone else can be successful around us.
Yeah. And you talked about it looking seamless, that it's just not that big a deal that, officials trot out, they kick the ball and it's ready to go. And obviously there's a lot more that goes on, but even somebody that's inside the program, other than if I need something done outside of the football program itself, but Jenna's the first one that I always look for, and usually I'll go over and find Chad and he'll be sitting there and I don't say, hey, I'm like, where's Jenna?
Yeah.
He'll be like, I don't know. She's running.
Is that on the golf cart? Hey, what's going
Sitting
on?
on the golf cart talking to Dr. Allsop.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how's everybody doing today? I'm like, I don't know. I swept the field.
Meanwhile, chaos and no walkie-talkies.
Chad and I have been working together long enough. I think it was last football season that he was on the field and kind of like got my attention over by the concession stand and like pointed up and did like a circle with his arm. And I was like, oh, he wants to make sure the lights are coming on. And so I like logged in. I'm like, they'll be on in 5 minutes. And I don't know how I knew what he was talking about because we've never had that discussion on what that hand movement meant.
He's an old baseball guy, though. So,
Yes.
like, to him, he's like, this is clearly, look, this is lights.
Yes.
Everybody knows this signal. All right.
International sign
This is
for
steel
lights.
second, and this is. How did you get from? So you went to Waldorf. You played basketball for Danny Jerome, and then you stayed, and then. But so, what was the process? Where did you from your first gig right out of school with Waldorf until where you're at now?
So I graduated a semester early, but wanted to walk with my class. And at the same time that I graduated, the like front desk secretary smiling face position was open. And so I applied for that and got that with the intention that I was going to work for a semester, get some experience under my belt. And once I walked, I was going to move back home and
Back to Simi Valley.
figure out what I was going to do.
Simi.
Simi.
But it's spelled like Simi.
Yes, Simi.
Okay, got it.
And then I walked and didn't leave. And, as the time.
And when was that?
So that would have been, so I did graduate in December of 16.
Okay.
And then would have walked in May of 17.
Okay.
And there was always more that could be done in the department. So add that on to Jenna. She'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of had more job responsibilities added to me. And eventually that created a full-time position for me and worked still there as a full-time kind of front desk person. And then Christy Osheim retired and I took over her position.
Right.
So I've been in that position for almost 4 years now.
Yeah. 7 years. This is your 7th year? Or it's
7 and a half. Yeah, it'll be 8 in December.
Yeah. Wow. Great. Yeah, Christy
It's a great
Osheim.
Waldorf story.
It
I love
is.
that.
It's why she's got the glass house office.
Yeah.
That was Christy's office. And there you go. So yeah, but you can't. There's no messing around in there. People walk in, they know if you're working or not.
Yes, they can see
You can't
me.
have your feet up on the desk
right.
and taking a nap and anything like that.
Oh, she's sleeping again. Be quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what's the best part for you? I mean, just in the job that you do, what is the? If you were to say, hey, you should do this job because this is the best parts of it.
I mean, how cool is it that you get to be paid to work in sports?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Nobody's
paying us. I mean, right?
Sorry about that.
I get a stipend.
All right.
I tried not to. I give it to the Gridiron Club.
So
I knew I wanted to go to school and do something related to sports. Someday maybe this will still happen, but I always wanted to do like game promotions, community outreach for the Los Angeles Sparks.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they actually did like a Dad's and Daughter's Day one year when I was in like 6th grade. And my dad and I went over, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. We could do obstacle course on the floor of the Staples Center. And then afterwards we get to watch a professional women's basketball game.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what led me into sports management. And now it's just home games. That's the best part of the job. I get to go to a game not only for free, but get paid for it. And that's awesome.
Not bad.
I just feel like we're on the cusp of really a institutional improvement in all of our game days. I'm not just talking about football. I mean, football is you try to do, sports is I come from somewhat a theater background at Waldorf, and it's just a production to me too. I mean, you got the players, the coaches, they do their thing, but there's the pageantry of any type of game. Football has got a lot of pageantry, but every game's got some of that. And what that does is it makes the players feel awesome. The coaches love it. The fans really appreciate it. The parents think it's great. And the opposing teams that come in think, what the heck's going on here? So that's why, say, like in football, the tailgating and all of that stuff is important. And obviously the Gridiron is engaged with as much game day operations as you guys let us do, which is wonderful. But, it's the same thing for every sport. We've got a great hockey team. We've got a great basketball teams. We've got, track and field that I have never been to a meet, and so I don't know how many meets we actually have here at Waldorf. We host a couple every year, or
we don't host right now anyway any like regular season competitions. We have hosted postseason track.
So it's like the stuff that you thought about as a 6th grader and being interested in like the pageantry, the stuff to do, the game, like the experience, like how does that all coordinate together? I think we're getting. Do you think we're getting in? Like, are we turning a corner where we can say there's something about every game where there's we're upping the ante just a little bit more every year?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you always want to be better than you were a year ago.
Right.
And we all grew up in sports. We're all competitive. We want to be the best, and we want to be excellent in whatever we do. And that, for at least the admin staff, is the game day operations. We want to be excellent in that because we want to be the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and that's where the rubber meets the road, all the preparation that the coaches go through and, making sure that their athletes have the right stuff, whether it's the right uniform, shoes, you name it. Football is obviously a different animal. But where it comes to fruition, for the community, and Waldorf fans is that game day. And if it was kind of run roughshod and wasn't just kind of like, whatever, we'll figure it out as it goes. And that speaks a lot to the hard work that you guys put in prior to the actual game day and then on the game day too. So it's not unnoticed. It's supposed to be, probably.
Yeah.
If
it, like I said earlier, if it looks like we just rolled out the ball and started playing, we did our jobs right.
Yeah.
I haven't had any major hiccups that I've ever seen. And again, this is my 5th season entering my 5th. And Chapa sent me a thing today that it's my 4-year anniversary with Waldorf.
Oh, happy anniversary.
I had no idea that I had an anniversary with Waldorf. I sort of thought Sean Henry dragging me into the locker room 5 years ago saying, hey, on August 24th, I'll have been an employee or whatever I am with Waldorf University for 4 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And let's be honest, this is all about the retirement gig for me.
Yeah.
Cause I'm going to worm my way into Jenna's office and be like, hey, I need to do this full time. I just don't want to get paid.
Yeah. We can find
that. Oh, I know.
Oh, that right up your
alley, and somebody said, what you should do is you should really go talk to the athletic department and see if you could be the equipment manager for the whole thing. I'm like, no. Could you imagine? And the thing is, football is I have, and we've got,
Can you imagine adding hockey to that?
I know.
Yeah,
that's
know.
exactly right. Like, soccer and basketball and
cross-country,
volleyball would be
fine.
relatively
One
simple.
load of laundry today.
But like everybody thinks that even just football, it's like, yeah, it's not a big deal. They already got their helmets and pads. You just hand out uniforms. It's like, dude, I've got so much work to do in the next week to get these guys ready to go to Concordia. And I thought I was ahead of the game. I'm nowhere close.
Do you, speaking of going on the away games, so like home games, we all get it. We want Waldorf to look and feel like the best, well, in our case, best small college football experience in America, and we want that for every team. And so, but for the away games, how much like what do you do related to away games?
I don't do too much with away games besides scheduled transportation.
Yeah.
So I have a form that I have the coaches fill out with the information that they need, where they're going, how many people are traveling, what time they leave. I put that in a master spreadsheet, and then I get with our facilities department for our institutional vehicles, or I'll schedule rental vehicles, or I'll schedule charters. And if you ever wanted to know where some random team was going on whatever day, it's in that master spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we looked into scheduling a charter to go to, I think, Michigan. Remember when we went to
Fair
Michigan?
State.
Fair State.
I'm glad we didn't go.
I'm glad we didn't go. That was a true beatdown. But
Well, luckily they only won the national championship in Division II that year.
well, so that's why.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, clearly. But we looked into it as a Gridiron Club. Like, what would it cost if we took, hey, maybe we just took a trip out there and stopped away, in a little. Anyway, it was, it's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and joining the GPAC has to be in it. It's probably not astronomical figures, but there's got to be a little savings in, like I know Coach Chapa said, we only have one overnight this year, which is amazing because we usually, especially in the North Star, at a minimum, you had 2 every year, if not 3, because you start.
And we were kind of at the time advocating for an additional night for like Dickinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, and Chad and I had talked about that. I'm sure he brought you in that conversation. Like, can we pay for another day? We'll pay for an extra day for the bus. We'll pay for an extra day for hotels and food for the guys just to try to get them. Because, man, they drug off that bus up in Dickinson. And when you watch the film, it's like, these guys are just like dragging their feet. But yeah, is there any type of cost realization savings, especially with a large team like football? Now hockey's still going to travel all over the place.
Yeah, their schedule is still going to be the same, so they're still going all over.
Absolutely.
Have you ever had you probably have it all the time, coaches that request or run requests through you that are you just like, that's ridiculous?
Not as much anymore.
Yeah.
We have guidelines in our handbook, and usually anything that would be above and beyond what we normally do is sometimes a valid request. Like you're going up to Dickinson and it just doesn't make sense to do only one overnight. And then we just have to sit down and discuss, like, is this in the budget? Or is this something you feel strongly about that you want to use the money that you've raised in fundraising or agency?
Do you ever get any time? I mean, when's the slow time? Is it the summer? I mean, I imagine that.
Definitely the summer. It's a nice kind of break from things. But usually as we get closer to August, it's like, okay, let's get back into home games. I'm missing it.
You're ready for it.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you're not doing the things that you're doing with Waldorf?
So in the summertime, most of my time is spent playing in our annual golf outing. And that is, that's a big undertaking. Yeah. And it's a big fundraiser for us. And kind of what I said earlier, I always want to be better than the year we were before.
Yeah.
And this past year, we were able to find more sponsors than we had in past years. And I think we would have had a full tournament had the rain not.
Yeah, weather was.
That's usually the weekend just after Father's Day or the weekend just before Father's Day?
Depending on how the calendar falls, it's usually the last Saturday in June.
So this year, unfortunately, Bear Creek was underwater a good portion of it, and lots of ground under repair, and then on top of that, even if that hadn't have happened, there still would be a lot of ground under repair because they redid the the water the water system or whatever out there. So yeah. Was out there and saw. I mean, it definitely was maybe a lower turnout. The weather was great.
It was a beautiful day.
Absolutely, yeah. But I've seen it before, where you have every hole's got 2 foursomes on it, or more than that. So
yeah,
get back to that for sure.
Yeah.
Hey there, WUBALL fans. Make plans now to kick off the 2024 season at the first Waldorf Gridiron Club Golf Tournament, Friday, September 6th at the Gruis Golf Course. Start your home opener tailgating experience early by registering your 4-person team now at woogridironevents@gmail.com. Find the link in the show notes. It's just $150 for each team, and that includes meals. If you want to sponsor one of our 9 holes, you can do that too for just $300, which includes the team registration, meals, hole signage, and recognition. This is a fundraiser for the Gridiron Club, and all money raised goes straight to the Warrior football program. We'll start registration at 12:15, get a welcome from the coaches, and explain the tournament rules at 12:45, then off to a shotgun start to our scramble at 1 p.m. Think of it as a kickoff. It's just a 9-hole tournament, so there will be plenty of time for our evening meal, flight prizes, and pre-game camaraderie around 5 p.m. You can bring your own cart or rent them right there at the course. The Gruis Golf Course is located west of Forest City at 2724 360th Street in rural Buffalo Center. We can't wait to see you at the Waldorf Gridiron Club Golf Tournament September 6th. Get your team together and register today by emailing woogridironevents@gmail.com, and we'll get you taken care of. Go Warriors!
Now, a little bit of interest for us too is this is all based, this podcast and everything that, not everything, but the majority of what Troy and I work for is focused on the football program and raising funds through the Gridiron Club. From the athletic side, is there something that that the Gridiron Club, in your opinion, should be doing to try to benefit not just the athletic or the football team, but the athletic program? Because one of the things that we try to, I guess, tout about, just being single program focused is that we want to be able to inject money into Coach Chapa, and not money, but equipment and things like that, the needs that his team has, so that it frees up more money for volleyball and hockey and stuff like that. But if you had a dream for us, what would it be?
Well, that's definitely the great thing about the Gridiron Club is you guys can focus on football, and we still help out football when we can, but we can give more to the other programs that don't have 120, 130 guys to go out and fundraise and make money.
Yep.
I guess off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything.
Well, that's good.
I
like if you started saying, just so I got
actually, I have a whole list.
Yeah, there is. Well, we try to stay up on it. We electrified got the electrical outlets in there on the tailgate area last year. Of course, everything that we do, I mean, that belongs to Waldorf. So I mean, after we pay for it, it goes. Now it's Waldorf's property, as it should be. That helps out the game days for sure. I know that we didn't have a hand in this. Well, I think some of us had a hand in it, but like Denny Jerome was putting together the new entrance for the field, and I think I know they poured the footings like last week, or maybe that was this week. I think it was like end of last week or whatever. Yeah. So the footings are poured, so that is under construction and happening. We've got plans anyway, and more information will come out on this, but working with Chad Gassman, Bob Alsop, and Brian Keeley and the Gridiron Club, and just trying to sort out how do we resolve this unfortunate loss of our ash trees around Bolstorff Field.
Yeah.
And we've got a plan, putting it together, going to find a way to, folks, you're going to find out more information on that as we come out with it, but we got to buy about 50 or 60 trees, and it's going to look beautiful. It's going to take a little bit of labor, but you'll find out more as that goes. But it's just been things that the Gridiron Club looks to do. We're focused on that one particular team, that one particular field, but we do recognize that if we can help support that program be successful, that it helps all of the other programs, whether it's financially or it is just attention and attendance to our university, which is kind of the community service part of what we're doing. So, and Andy and I are both alum, and you're an alum, and we think that it's great when we have alum down at the at the football coaching staff now. We got Cade Kloster-Hodak is down there, and
Jordan Cooper.
Jordan Cooper is down there, and we love to
technically
see that.
Coach Chop is an alum. You know, he got
Chop is alum.
he
Yeah,
got his graduate degree.
So it's fun to see that and see that kind of culture being built down there and all of that. So really good. And Denny Jerome, the one that brought you in, was an old football player for Dave Bolstorff back in the day, and was an assistant coach for Dave for many years.
Out of the state of Ohio.
Yeah. Brought him in late at night on a bus and didn't. And like Dave Bolstorff says, we didn't want to spend too much time showing him around, so we kind of showed him around at night and then sent him back once he agreed that he was going to come here.
Makes sense. And then he stayed too.
He stayed,
He's
sure
not
did.
gone far, and that's what a blessing to our community. People like Jenna and people like Denny Jerome. Kind of whether you fell in love with the community or not. That's one of the things that I always tell our coaches coming in. When we get a new coach here, I'm just like, just be careful. You're going to fall in love with this place. And I think one of our like Coach Cooper. He's been here a while and he loves it. I think he needs to start shopping for a house.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I tell you what, it's what you do, what the staff does there in the AD's office for Waldorf, all the way out, all the sports, the kids. I mean, that's really what it's about. You obviously hope to win. Everybody's competitive, but what it's about is, can we provide the best experience in every program where these kids can compete, find joy and satisfaction, fulfillment, and then a future in their whatever their endeavors have been with their sports, and in their working life in the future. All of those college athletics are going to build it, and what you guys do to make all of that happen is just something that we wanted to recognize and thank you for, and make sure that our fans are aware of it too. So if you see Jenna on a Saturday, and you probably will,
probably won't know who I am.
She's got sunglasses on almost every time.
Maybe you should have your own jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, we should.
Could you wear that game day jersey?
I could get her. Because we have. We have white travel jerseys.
See,
and what number would you be?
13.
13?
13.
Number 13.
I think we have an extra 13.
Okay.
I'll talk to Coach Chop, and then we'll get a.
What would you want on the back? Do you want your name, or do you want the boss? No.
I'd say the boss. Yeah, because again, when I go talk to Coach Gassman, like I'm looking to something that's about the event, if something for the Gridiron Club or anything like that. I don't go to Chad Gassman and say, "Hey, could you?" I'm like, "Where's Jenna?" Because I know who's going to get it done.
You can't just on the back put GD Ops, which sounds cool, Special Forces, but then it's also like this is a church school kind of.
Yeah.
You can't put GD Ops.
What is that?
Where's the GD Ops around here?
I think we can make something happen.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, I think we should.
And
do
you'll
it.
know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Why number 13? Was that your basketball number?
Actually, no. It was not my number less than it was my number.
Oh.
But I was born on the 13th, Friday the 13th.
Oh,
nice.
Well, you have that in common with my son Jack, who plays football at Waldorf now. He's a
best
Friday
day.
of 13th.
What
He's a
month?
Friday 13th. January.
Me too. Stop
Oh
it.
my!
There it is.
We have the same birthday.
The same birthday. You do have the same birthday.
That's too funny.
That is wonderful. Wow, we're learning stuff.
That's great.
You talked about your aunts that went here when it was a 2-year school. What years did they graduate? Do you remember?
Well, just one aunt did.
Okay.
But I have no idea.
Well,
Where do they live now?
yeah.
One in Lake Mills and one in Joyce.
Okay.
I don't think I have any
I count
classmates.
Joyce as Lake Mills. I know they're very independent, but that's kind of So they went to the Lake Mills side. Interesting.
Raising volleyball players
Probably.
and golfers. My gosh. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, they got it going on up there.
Nice.
Love Lake Mills. Cade Nobley, he's
Yeah, for sure.
Cade Nobley, not Cade.
See what you did there?
I know, I did.
Do you have anybody that you want to give a shout out to? Maybe back there in Simi Valley or wherever or whomever.
I only have my mom and my brothers are still and some more family, but my dad just moved out to South Carolina,
All right.
so opposite sides of the country now.
You're right in the middle, though. That's
Yeah.
convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God you can fly.
Yes, exactly. Probably Callie Schmidt. She and I work very closely together, and she's been working, 3 years now.
Yeah.
And she helps me with the things that I just don't have time for that need to get done. But she can do them, and I can pass them on to her, and she gets them done.
You should have your own hand gesture signals that only you two
guys
know.
can work on that. Yeah, absolutely.
Luckily,
Then
I have that
is she-
window so we can see each other.
She's in the desk.
Yep,
you
she's
could
the
just
front
do
desk.
that. You could be like, of course, this isn't audio only.
Well, yeah.
But it was a bunch of really cool hand gestures that looked like
It
baseball.
was great. It looked
signals.
like you were
Yeah.
breakdancing.
But did you think that was secret? And you'd be like, you have like the secret twin language
Yeah.
or whatever that's got going on, your
Just
hand
to
signals.
freak people
Chad
out.
Gassman walks out of his office, which is like basically would be right in the middle of you two.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd look and he'd know. He's like, I know exactly. He knows exactly what you're saying. He just can read your signals.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Got it.
Yeah. Go get cabin coffee.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. So have you ever met Callie's husband?
I have.
Yeah, he's incorrigible. I don't like that guy at all.
Yeah, right.
He and I spent many, many years in Canada together. I think actually he's going next week.
Yeah, I think she said something about that. It's coming up pretty soon.
Absolutely. He likes to fish, but he likes to also be a farmer and a dad. So
That's great.
got a couple daughters, and they're wonderful people. If you get the chance to meet Callie, she's solid gold. I mean, your department up there is so great.
She's the best face for the department, always happy. I'm more introverted, so I'll give you a little smile, and then,
Smile and wave,
yeah,
boys.
that's about it.
Smile and wave.
And
Well, maybe she needs a jersey too. You see Jenna and Callie on game day. You'll see them in the jerseys. You'll know who they are. Make
What
sure
number
you
are we
say
gonna give
hello
Callie?
and say thanks.
What number are we going to give Callie?
well, I think she was born on the 26th,
We can get her 26.
but
What?
that's gonna be real embarrassing if I don't remember her birthday.
Yeah, of
It
March.
doesn't matter.
That'd be
September.
funny. Oh, because that'd be another kid's birthday. March 26th.
We got 4 to choose from.
Yeah, that's
or
true.
3.
Yeah,
I mean-
depends on what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cool. Jenna, thank you so much, mostly for everything that you do for our university, our athletic teams, the program, and making the game day experience for all our Warrior fans seem like it's just what we're supposed to be doing. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, it's great. So Jenna Quina, folks, she is the heartbeat behind Waldorf Athletics. If you don't believe me, ask her boss.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would say the same thing.
You'd agree 100%.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. Thank Jenna Quina for being here. Now, folks, tell all your friends to listen to this podcast. You can find it on all your available platforms.
And make sure that you leave us a review, a good one, preferably, because it does make a difference in how we're trafficked.
Yeah, exactly.
This is podcast trafficking.
That's illegal in most states.
That's right. But, your review makes a difference. We love it when you do that.
All right. Thanks for listening, folks. That's going to do it for us. For Troy Thompson, this is Andy Buffington. And forever and always,
Go Warriors.
You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club and be part of the best small college football experience in America.
Just visit our website and pick your membership level. Find us and everything Waldorf Gridiron Club related, including professional photos, at waldorfgridironclub.org.
You can also click on the Support the Show link in the show notes to donate.
And you can even use the United States Postal Service by sending your check to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
It's tax exempt, hassle free, and has a level for every budget.
That's right. Anyone can join, even our rivals.
Show your colors. Join the Gridiron Club today.
Get it?
Got it. Fantastic.
The Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farm Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. Platformed by Buzzsprout and music by Soundstrike. The Waldorf Gridiron Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the student athletes of the Waldorf University football program. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America.